Okay, so The Boys Season 3 is now over. Episode 8 had a massive ending that set up a lot of things for the future, and throughout this video I want to give our big theories for what's going to come next time. Step right up, we got your President Homelander theories, and obviously there will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't had a chance to check out the finale, then check out now. Please hit the thumbs up button, and also don't forget to subscribe for videos like this each and every day. Without the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into The Boys. Now the first major thing I want to talk about is Ryan's fate. Come the end of the season, he's back with his dear old dad, and without Becca being there, he's likely going to end up becoming the spawn of Superman. They even end in a similar way to the Omen to hammer home this idea, and it really seems like he's going to become the second worst Ryan in the world.
Shut the f*** up, Ryan Airy!
Damn punk. Now, to make matters worse, Billy hasn't been given long left to live because of his overuse of Compound V24. This was warned to be fatal in the series, and now because of it he's living on borrowed time, so he hasn't got long left to save Ryan from his father. Now I actually think that Ryan is going to become the next Soldier Boy in the show. In the comics, this was one of the only superhero titles that was seen as a moniker rather than being for a specific person. There were 3 versions in the comics, and with Ryan being descended from the first one, I can see this being something that's passed on to him. He's listed off countries just like Soldier Boy did in the comics, he's worn the same colours as him, and the mantle also has this idea of him being a patriot, which would help play to Homelander's base. So I really think they'll go that way with Ryan, and have him as somewhat of a sidekick to Homelander using the mantle. Now Billy is probably going to die, and you already know they can't leave Homelander alive at this point. So who will look after Ryan? Well, I actually think that it might end up being Annie and Huey come the end of the series. Earlier in the season we got the scene in Red River where Huey investigated the adoption procedures, and though he talked about adopting a soup kid as a way in, he could have hinted at to what's coming down the line. Now on top of this, Starlight of course runs that she runs that orphanage program, but we know the truth, which Ryan would likely end up in once the Scorched Earth battle ends up playing out.
Mysterio was right.
Stop. We don't, that's all.
Right.
I bloody knew it. Now, say by some miracle that Billy survives, I think they'd have to do this in a way that makes sense for the show. Though I do think he'll die, Billy could end up taking the extra Compound V that Annie took from Vought. Though she gave some to Kimiko to kickstart her powers again, there was a lot left over in the bag. Now Billy could end up taking this, but I actually think his principles will turn him against this. He's already talked about how bad V is, and I think that rather than taking it, he'll instead focus on clearing it out from the world. This is something that he also did in the comics, and his final arc revolved around wiping out everyone on Earth who had V in their system. Not only did this include the Supes, but it also included the boys who had been using the substance to level the playing field. Now how Butcher will do this could have already been potentially hinted towards. In the comics he ended up using a refined version of Compound V that was linked to Little Nina. Early on in the source material, she had created a way to explode every Soup's head by injecting them with a specialized form of V that detonated upon a certain radio frequency going off. Billy was going to disperse this and then detonate it, killing all the Supes at the same time. Now Huey managed to stop him, but I think they might change it up and have it linked to BCL Red. In the series we discover that this vaporizes the V within someone's bloodstream, and potentially this could be altered and redefined so that it doesn't cook regular people's bloods, just the Supes. It'll have Huey asking Annie, "Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?" And it would give him motivation to go out and stop Butcher. A Soldier Boy is currently under the care of the CIA in containment, and if he's being studied then there could be improvements that end up changing the BCL Red developed by the Russians. I'm still standing by BCL Red, standing for Big Chest Laser as well. I'm standing by that, put that on my grave. Now alternatively, Billy could get his revenge through altering the V24 substance. If he can do this, then it can achieve the similar lethal effects that he now has, and yes, it would be ironic to do it this way. Now I don't think he'll end up killing the boys, but they may end up attempting to stop him fully going through with his plan. He's went toe to toe with Mother's Milk in the season, and Annie and Maeve have shown that there are good Supes. Now as for the 7, I'm really not sure how things will go, but I think we are on the brink of them collapsing. Several of their major members are dead, with Black Noir and Supersonic being killed by Homelander in the season. Maeve is also lying low, and the Deep and A-Train seem to be the only members left due to Starlight ditching them. Reminds me of Boris Johnson's cabinet, and going forward they might end up getting some more members from the comics. Jack from Jupiter has been hinted at in the show, when we've seen him doing something with Uranus. Hey. He was also in The Boys Diabolical, so they've definitely been planting the seeds for him to show up. There was also Mr. Marathon in the comics, who too was a speedster, and this would create a rivalry with A-Train. Now going beyond this, I think they're all gonna die outside of the Deep. I can see A-Train sacrificing himself and finally making amends for everything, and the Deep making it through because Kevin is a f***ing idiot and he's exactly the kind of guy that survives this shit. Now Deep also ended up surviving in the comics too. Come the end of the run, he joined a group called America Consolidated and he changed his name to True. It would definitely fit in with a character for him to do something like that and have a complete rebrand after his reputation is left in tatters. Now as for Stan Edgar, I really don't know how it's gonna go with him. In the comics they pretty much gave his role to Stillwell and Edgar was only ever mentioned as the CEO. James Stillwell ended up inspiring Madeline Stillwell's name, but the character clearly ended up being fully adapted into Edgar as they're much more similar. Super confusing, but when Edgar died in the comics, many assumed that Stillwell would take the top spot. However, he allowed Jessica Bradley to do this instead, and this was so that when the company fell, she would take the fall. This seems to be what Edgar is doing in the show too, and he calmly left, allowing Ashley to become the CEO. I think that when it all comes crumbling down, that she will end up becoming the patsy, much like Jessica. Stan will then take the reins back, disprove his guilt, and also expose Homelander and Victoria as being in collusion to frame him. Now the last theory I want to talk about is where I think that they're going to be taking Homelander. Throughout the season he's been making a lot of big power plays and also saying a lot of things that sound a bit like they're making him like a certain real life figure. Now whatever your political leanings are, we aren't here to judge, but I think these choices have been done on purpose for the creative team to potentially set him up as someone who will rule over America. Beyond the obvious similarities in dialogue, showrunner Eric Kripke said that Homelander is very much an analog for Trump, and I think they will try and steer him towards this. Homelander has just started running a billion-dollar company, and he's gaining his fans to the point that I think season 4 or 5 will see him taking the hot seat. It also seems like Victoria is taking this route too, and in the comics, Vic the Veep was a Vought plant who ended up teaming alongside Dakota Bob in the White House. Eventually Vic killed him through using a wild Wolverine, and this is when he was given the job of ruling over America. With him controlling the laws and government contracts, he was able to give Vought access to anything that they wanted. However, Vic's reign was short-lived as Homelander launched his Soup Uprising. Throughout the comics he slowly started to turn against his masters, and he eventually unified the Soups in order to lead a coup. He stormed the White House and beheaded Vic, taunting Billy who arrived on the scene. Mentioned it in a lot of breakdowns, but if you haven't watched those, I'll quickly go through it. I think it would be really ironic if Homelander beheaded Vic to make up for her exploding other peoples. I'll never mention that again, I promise. Either way, this moment was a major one in the comics, and it's when Black Noir stepped in. He revealed that he was a clone of Homelander who had slowly sent him insane so that he could fulfill his mission to finally murder him. We learned that the only reason Black Noir was created was to stop Homelander in case he went rogue, but not being able to do this made his life feel meaningless. So he set things in place to kill him, and it all led to this moment where he could finally take him down. Black Noir murdered Homelander, but with the series carrying out a Mortal Kombat fatality on him, it means that we can't have this play out. Therefore, I think Homelander might actually survive this scene, and potentially he could end up going past this moment. This could lead to him becoming the president, and I think it would be a massive change up in the dynamics to have the boys fighting the most powerful person in the country in terms of not only ability, but also position. Now, if they don't go that route, I think Ryan will be one of the main players that help take him out. Kinda gone back and forth over whether he will deliver the killing blow, but I think that Billy might stop him from doing this, and this will cost him his life too. We might see him take V24 for the last time, which will give him one final power boost to finally kill Homelander before it takes him out as well. I think this would be the perfect end to his arc, as he'd finally kill Homelander and also stop Ryan from becoming a violent murderer. Obviously, I know everyone will have their own theories, so let me know yours in the comments below. Now, we are running a competition right now and giving away 3 copies of Everything Everywhere All at Once on the 15th of July, and all you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts and theories. We pick the comments at random on the 15th, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of the finale, which will be linked on screen right now. With that out of the way, thank you for sitting through the video, I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.